Ladies and gentlemen, the internet has officially lost its collective mind, again. But this time, it's not over a diss track, not a Grammy snub, not even a messy breakup. Oh no, this one's way juicier. Because apparently, Jada Kingdom didn't just leave Burna Boy's hotel at 3 a.m. like last time. She might have left something else behind. Receipts. And not the kind you can tear up and throw away. I'm talking about secret, late-night, never-meant-to-be-seen photos that just mysteriously leaked online, turning timelines upside down and breaking the internet in ways only Burna Boy and a bad decision can. Now, before we dive into this digital disaster, let's get one thing straight. This isn't just gossip. This is the kind of chaos that makes TMZ look like a bedtime story. Because if these pictures are even half as real as fans claim, then we're looking at a crossover scandal nobody saw coming. The Afrofusion king, the Caribbean bombshell, and Stefflon Don, the ex who's been too quiet for comfort. Until now. So here's the million-dollar question. Were these pictures really leaked? Or is this a perfectly timed publicity trap? Because something tells me Jada and Burna didn't just get caught slipping, they might have just been caught plotting. Stay tuned, because what's coming next might just change the entire Afrobeat love triangle forever. Ladies and gentlemen, grab your popcorn, hide your DMs, and log out of your burner accounts. Because the streets of social media are on fire tonight. What started as a quiet weekend for Afrobeat lovers just turned into an international scandal featuring heartbreak, betrayal, and a camera roll that was never meant to see daylight. Yes, you heard that right. Jada Kingdom, the Jamaican goddess with the voice of an angel and the attitude of a headline, has allegedly been caught up in a digital disaster involving none other than the African giant himself, Burna Boy. And if you think this is just another rumor, oh, buckle up, because the evidence is not just messy, it's cinematic. Now let's rewind the clock a bit, because you can't understand this scandal unless you know the history. Burna Boy, the self-proclaimed African giant, has been through his fair share of controversy. From wild party nights to industry beefs, he's not exactly new to chaos. But when it comes to love, that's a whole different battlefield. Once upon a time, Burna Boy and Stefflon Don were hip-hop royalty, the power couple that made us all believe in cross-continental love. London met Lagos, and the world couldn't get enough. They were everywhere. Red carpets, private jets, romantic selfies. It was the Afro-Caribbean fairy tale we didn't know we needed, until it ended, spectacularly. Rumors of cheating, cryptic tweets, and emotional interviews painted a picture uglier than a bad album rollout. Stefflon Don hinted that Burna wasn't exactly the loyal lover he portrayed. And Burna? Well, he did what every scandal-ridden artist does. He went silent, then dropped another hit track that suspiciously sounded like a confession wrapped in bass and melody. Fast forward to a few months ago. Out of nowhere, fans start noticing that Burna's been spotted with someone new. And not just anyone. Jada Kingdom. The curvy, outspoken, no-nonsense dancehall diva who doesn't play by anyone's rules. Their chemistry? Undeniable. Their timing? Suspiciously perfect. Now here's where things start to smell like controversy cooked in scandal sauce. Just last week, Jada was seen leaving Burna Boy's hotel at 3 a.m, and the internet went ballistic. Memes, reactions, speculation, it was chaos. But hey, we've all seen that before. Celebs link up, fans overreact, and everyone moves on. Except this time, nobody moved on. Because just when the dust began to settle, boom, the internet got hit with something way bigger. Leaked pictures, and not just blurry, maybe that's them type of leaks. We're talking high definition, up-close, late-night moments that screamed intimacy. The kind of photos that don't just slip through the cracks, they get strategically released. Now the question isn't whether the pictures are real, it's who leaked them. Because depending on the answer, this whole story takes a very different turn. Some fans believe it's a classic revenge leak, maybe a jealous ex, maybe someone from Burna's inner circle who wanted to stir the pot. Others think it's a publicity stunt, a perfectly timed move to push Jada's upcoming single and Burna's tour in one viral wave. Because let's be honest, nothing sells faster than a scandal, especially when it's dripping in desire and deception. But here's the real twist. The photos didn't just leak on random gossip pages. They first appeared on a private Telegram group known for selling exclusive celebrity content. Within minutes, screenshots spread across Twitter, Reddit, and every blog thirsty for clicks. And before anyone could say damage control, the images were everywhere, captioned with the bold headline, "Jada Kingdom and Burna Boy, caught red-handed." Now, Burna's team immediately went into panic mode. Sources. And by sources, I mean that one insider who always accidentally leaks everything, claimed that Burna's manager tried to contact platform admins to remove the images. But by then it was too late. The internet doesn't delete, it multiplies. Meanwhile, Jada Kingdom, instead of denying or defending, went quiet. No posts, no tweets, no stories. Silence. The loudest move she could have made. And that silence started fueling even more theories. Some fans said she was humiliated. Others claimed she was letting the storm pass. But the more chaotic corners of the internet, they started whispering that Jada wasn't embarrassed at all. She was strategizing. Because here's the thing about Jada. She knows how to flip a scandal into a spotlight. Remember that feud she had last year with that other artist? She turned that into a hit song. She doesn't hide from drama. She monetizes it. And if you've been paying attention to her socials lately, you might have noticed something strange. Just days before the leak, she posted a cryptic caption, "Every secret eventually sings." Coincidence? Or a clue that she knew this was coming? Either way, Stefflon Don wasn't about to stay silent, because the same night those photos hit the internet, she posted one simple tweet that broke the algorithm. Some lessons don't need repeating. No names. No tags. Just pure, calculated shade. And that's when the War of the Women began. Burna's fans rushed to defend him. Stefflon's fans started clowning. Jada's supporters claimed she was being targeted because of jealousy. It was chaos. Digital warfare at its finest. But deep down, everyone's wondering the same thing. What really happened that night? Were those photos leaked by accident? Or was this an orchestrated move to shake the industry right before Burna's international tour? Because if there's one thing these stars have mastered, it's controversy as a marketing strategy. And right when people thought things couldn't get any wilder, new rumors started circulating. Apparently, an anonymous user claimed to have videos. Yes, videos that are 10 times worse than the pictures. They even teased a potential drop date, saying, "The full truth comes Friday," whether it's real or not. That's the kind of statement that sends PR teams into full-blown crisis mode. So, we've got leaked photos, cryptic tweets, silent artists, and fans turning into online detectives, all in the span of 48 hours. But that's only the beginning, because as wild as the leak is, the reaction it sparked might just be even messier. Because when fame, ego, and revenge mix, you don't get closure, you get war. And that's exactly what's brewing behind the scenes right now. And just like that, the internet transformed into a full-blown courtroom. Twitter became the witness stand, TikTok turned into a crime scene, and Instagram? Oh, that became the evidence locker. Everyone suddenly had proof, sources, and exclusive intel about what really went down between Jada Kingdom and Burna Boy. Now, let's be honest, when it comes to celebrity scandals, the fans are more efficient than the FBI. Within hours, people had tracked down the hotel wallpaper, matched it to a 5-star suite in London, and even found footage from a random TikTok that allegedly shows Burna's security detail entering the same place earlier that night. You can't make this stuff up. Or maybe you can, because that's half the fun. So while Burna's team scrambled to get the images wiped from the internet, fans were busy connecting dots that probably didn't even exist. Threads popped up titled, "The Burna Jada Timeline, How It All Started." And let me tell you, these people had screenshots going back to 2022. They found likes, comments, matching outfits, even the same champagne glasses in their Instagram stories. The level of detail was so insane, one user joked. At this point, the fans deserve a salary. Meanwhile, Stefflon Don, the ex-girlfriend in this messy love triangle, suddenly became everyone's emotional spokesperson. She didn't drop names, but every post, every lyric snippet, every story had that "you know who this is about" energy. One of her posts even read, "When you replace a queen with a clown, don't cry when the circus starts." Ouch. The shade had its own zip code, but here's where the plot thickens. Because amidst all the chaos, an alleged anonymous insider, who claimed to work for Burna Boy's management, decided to spill exclusive details. They posted a long thread claiming that the leaks weren't an accident at all. According to this mystery whistleblower, the photos were part of a setup, a staged scandal meant to distract from another controversy involving Burna's label finances. Yep. Apparently, Burna's team had been under scrutiny for creative accounting, and dropping a scandal like this was supposed to divert attention. The plan? Let the internet talk about love triangles instead of lawsuits. Genius? Maybe. Diabolical? Definitely. The insider even added, Burna didn't expect it to blow up this fast. Jada was in on the promo idea, but the pics that leaked weren't the ones approved for PR use. Someone from the inner circle went rogue. Now, whether that's true or not, we'll never know, but it was enough to ignite a whole new wave of theories. Suddenly, everyone started questioning the timing. Burna's new single? Dropped just 2 days before the leak. Jada's latest music video? Scheduled to premiere next week. Coincidence or calculated chaos? And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, enter the leaked text messages. Screenshots began circulating that supposedly showed Jada texting a friend, bragging about finishing what Steph started. Another message read, "He said he'd never go back, and I made sure he didn't." Of course, no one could confirm if those texts were real, but by then, the truth didn't matter. The internet had made up its mind. Jada was the villain, Burna was the fool, and Stefflon was the avenger. But here's the funny part. While fans were fighting in the comments, Burna Boy was spotted performing in Paris like nothing ever happened, smiling, dancing, hyping up the crowd. The man looked completely unbothered, as if his PR team hadn't been losing sleep for 3 days straight. One fan tweeted, "Burna is performing like his camera roll isn't currently trending worldwide." Another wrote, "You gotta respect the level of denial. Man's living his best life while we're writing dissertations." And maybe that's the real power of being Burna Boy. When you're the African giant, you don't panic, you perform. You let the music drown the noise, but not everyone was amused. Industry insiders started dropping cryptic hints about how reputation management in the Afrobeat scene has become a dirty business. One journalist even claimed, leaks like these are rarely spontaneous. They're chess moves, each one planned to protect someone or destroy someone else. So naturally, the internet went full detective mode again. Who benefits from this scandal the most? Burna? Maybe. He's trending globally, streams are up, headlines are everywhere. Jada? Possibly. Her name is now attached to one of the biggest stars in the world. But Stefflon? Well, she's getting sympathy, streams, and moral victory all at once. In other words, everybody's winning, except the fans who actually believed this was about love. But then came the second wave, and it was brutal. The leaked videos rumor suddenly gained traction. Multiple fake accounts began teasing exclusive clips, even posting blurred thumbnails to bait clicks. One fake site claimed to have the uncensored version for $29.99. It was a full-blown digital gold rush. That's when Burna's legal team reportedly got involved. According to a so-called close source, Burna's lawyers sent cease and desist notices to several platforms hosting the content. They called the leaks unauthorized manipulation and hinted that criminal investigations were underway. But in the court of public opinion, nobody cared about legality. They cared about gossip. The hashtag #TheBurnaLeak trended for 2 straight days. Memes flooded TikTok, some hilarious, others ruthless. People edited Burna and Jada's faces onto famous movie scenes. One viral clip showed a mock press conference where an AI-generated Burna Boy said, "I was hacked by love." Meanwhile, Jada Kingdom's silence continued until she finally broke it in the most cryptic way possible. She posted a short clip of herself laughing, sipping wine, with the caption, "They wanted a scandal. I gave them a storyline." The internet exploded. Some called her a genius, others said she was shameless. But one thing was clear, she was playing the game on her own terms, and that's when Stefflon Don struck back again. She went live on Instagram, addressing women who don't respect boundaries. She didn't mention names, but her tone said it all. She talked about loyalty, karma, and how some people only shine when they're standing in someone else's spotlight. Her fans went wild, dropping comments like, "Speak, Queen," and "We know who you mean." At that point, the drama wasn't just about leaked pictures anymore. It had turned into a full-on war of words, a cultural moment. Afrobeat's very own soap opera, with millions of viewers tuning in through gossip blogs and TikTok narrations. But here's the kicker. While the fans were obsessing over who said what, new information began to surface that changed everything. A supposed tech leak expert on Reddit claimed that the metadata from the pictures didn't match the timeline being reported. In other words, the images might not even be recent. If that's true, this whole scandal could have been built on recycled content from months ago, maybe even years. So what does that mean? Were Burna and Jada ever even together? Or was this an elaborate digital illusion? A publicity stunt disguised as a romance? Because in today's entertainment industry, nothing happens by accident. Not leaks, not captions, not even silence. And as whispers of lawsuits and NDAs started swirling, one thing became clear. This story was far from over. Because behind every leak, there's a leaker. And behind every scandal, there's someone who benefits. The question is, who's pulling the strings this time? So here we are. The leaks have gone viral, the tweets have burned through timelines, and everyone from Lagos to London has turned into an amateur investigator. But what happens after the scandal hits its peak? That's right, the fallout. And trust me, this fallout hit harder than Burna's bass drops. Because while the fans were busy arguing about screenshots and timelines, the real drama was unfolding behind the scenes. Inside Burna's camp, Jada's circle, and Stefflon's very calculated silence. First off, Burna Boy's PR team went into what insiders called Operation Clean Slate. Word is, his management started reaching out to blogs and entertainment sites offering exclusive interviews, but only if they agreed to spin the narrative in Burna's favor. One gossip site leaked an email where Burna's team allegedly wrote, "The story is damaging. We're ready to cooperate with a new angle, talk about music, not mistakes. Translation. Please, let's talk about the album." Not the aftermath, but the internet wasn't ready to move on. Because just when Burna's people thought they could sweep this under the rug, and another storm hit. A supposed digital security report started circulating online claiming that the leak originated from a hacked iCloud folder belonging to one of Burna's associates. The report, which of course was never verified, detailed how multiple devices connected to the same location accessed private media within 48 hours of the first leak. Basically, someone inside the inner circle either got sloppy or got greedy. Now here's where it gets spicy. Because a few hours after that report started trending, one of Burna's close friends suddenly went private on Instagram. The timing? Too suspicious to ignore. Fans immediately labeled him the mole, and overnight, his DMs were filled with thousands of angry messages. The poor guy posted, "I had nothing to do with it," but by then it was too late. The internet had already picked its villain. Meanwhile, Jada Kingdom wasn't exactly playing the victim. She started posting cryptic messages again, this time more poetic than shady. One caption read, "Sometimes exposure is the price of intimacy." Another, "You can't leak what I already own." Fans were divided. Half said she was being unapologetically confident. The other half said she was gaslighting the entire situation, but no matter what side you were on, you couldn't scroll without seeing her face. You couldn't scroll without seeing her face. And that's when brand backlash kicked in. A luxury brand that recently signed Jada for a fashion campaign suddenly paused their partnership. Their statement read, "We stand for integrity and privacy, and at this time, we are reassessing our collaborations." In plain English, they didn't want the smoke, but don't feel too bad for her. Because hours later, another rival brand swooped in, offering her an even bigger deal, reportedly saying, "Scandal sells, and confidence is currency." Jada might have lost one contract, but she gained a narrative, the bold, unbothered diva who refuses to hide. Meanwhile, Burna Boy's concerts started selling out even faster. People joked that the leak did more for his ticket sales than any PR campaign could. One fan tweeted, "If this was a scandal, it's the most profitable one I've ever seen." But while the music world was cashing in on controversy, the emotional world was cracking. Because Stefflon Don wasn't done yet. After days of subtle shade, she dropped a surprise freestyle on Instagram titled "No Leaks." And let's just say, she went off. With lines like, "You traded loyalty for clout, now your secret's out," and They sold privacy for promo. Now they paying in shame? She turned heartbreak into art and shade into poetry. Within hours, the clip had over 5 million views. The internet crowned her the winner of the entire situation. But here's where everything took a darker turn. Because while fans were debating who was up and who was down, legal experts started chiming in, saying that if the leaks were truly unauthorized, both Burna and Jada could press charges under privacy laws. A few tabloids even claimed that international authorities were looking into the cybercrime aspect. One insider supposedly told an entertainment outlet, "They're tracing IPs, reviewing cloud access logs, and contacting service providers. If this was a hack, someone's about to be exposed for real." Now, whether that's true or just another chapter in the ongoing circus, nobody knows. But it added a new layer of tension. Suddenly, what started as a gossip story became a potential legal thriller. And that's when something truly bizarre happened. An anonymous Reddit account popped up, claiming to be the actual leaker. They posted, "I didn't hack anyone. I just delivered justice. Celebs pretend they're perfect. I showed you the truth." Within hours, the account was deleted. Was it real? A troll? A PR stunt? Nobody could tell. But the damage had already been done. Because now this wasn't just about Burna or Jada. It was about trust. Every artist, influencer, and celebrity suddenly started double-checking their phones, their passwords, their backups. Nobody wanted to be next. Burna Boy eventually broke his silence, not through a statement, but during a live show. In the middle of his performance, he paused the music, looked into the crowd, and said, "They can leak pictures, but they can't leak greatness." The audience lost it. Fans cheered, bloggers clipped it, and suddenly Burna had flipped the entire narrative, from scandal to supremacy. But as the applause faded and the headlines started to cool down, one truth remained. No one really knows who leaked the photos. Maybe it was revenge. Maybe it was marketing. Maybe it was both. What we do know is this: everyone played their part. Jada, the fearless femme fatale. Burna, the unbothered superstar. Stefflon, the poetic avenger. And the audience, us, the ever-watchful spectators feeding the machine of modern celebrity chaos. Because that's the thing about today's fame. It's not built on privacy anymore. It's built on exposure. Every scandal is a campaign. Every heartbreak, a headline. Every leak, an opportunity. And as the dust settles, it's almost poetic how it all circles back to one question. Who leaked the pictures? But maybe the better question is, who wanted us to see them? Because in the age of viral fame, truth doesn't trend. Drama does. So what do you think really happened? Was this a cruel betrayal from inside Burna's camp? A calculated PR stunt between two attention-savvy artists? Or did the internet just fall for the biggest distraction of the year? Whatever the case, one thing's for sure. Nothing in the world of celebrity chaos happens without a camera rolling and a hashtag waiting. And if history has taught us anything, it's that today's leak is tomorrow's music video teaser. But let's be real. What's your verdict? Is Jada Kingdom the mastermind of her own scandal, or just another victim of the digital circus? And did Burna Boy really get caught slipping, or did he just outsmart us all? Drop your thoughts below because this story's still unraveling, and the next twist might already be uploading. If you've made it this far, hit that like button, share this with your favorite gossip group chat, and subscribe. Because this is just the beginning. From celebrity secrets to digital disasters, we dig into the stories they don't want you to hear. And remember, in a world where privacy is extinct and publicity is power, there's always another scandal waiting to leak. Stay tuned, stay skeptical, and as always, stay watching.